Welcome back to Immersive Reactions. Today, we're going to be going over some Dune lore, specifically the Real Dune by Alt Shift. I like his style, his videos, and they're really good. So, a lot of people suggested I look into Alt Shift. Saw he had some Dune stuff. He also has some Game of Thrones stuff that I want to do eventually, too. That and some other people. So, I want to make lore and deep diving into your favorite things, Dune, Game of Thrones. Soon we're going to be doing Breaking Bad. We're going to be doing Star Wars. There's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to be diving into going forward into the future on Wednesdays. So any lore is going to drop on Wednesday. Typically, that's when we do our extras and stuff like that. So, and I'm going to be editing down my reactions to the books, my reactions to the lore, and any other thing you want me to watch on Wednesdays that has to do with what we're watching. If there's anything else you want me to watch that's completely unrelated, we have a separate channel for that. It's called Immersive Reaction Shorts. So that's going to be our channel where we watch sports or clips of things or trailers or stuff like that. Short videos or longer videos like documentaries and stuff you want us to watch. First time reaction to that stuff, and I'll do it. I'll do whatever you want. But we're going to be focusing on lore on this channel and getting deep into behind the scenes of the movies and the shows we watch. So, the Real Dune. Some of you are a little disappointed that I was reacting to our lore video was about just a recap of the movie, but I'm still new to the movies and the books and everything, so I need a recap just to get me further down, get these character names down, get the location names down, because I'm still new. That video might be boring for you guys, but because it's just a simple recap, but I kind of needed it. But we're gonna get deeper into more lore. I hope to get an edited version of my first 10 chapters of the Dune book put out eventually. You can expect that over the next coming weeks, months. If I didn't already say this, and if you haven't already done so, go like his video. All credit goes to him. Like in the description, I'm just reacting to stuff for the first time. Go subscribe to him, like his video. And I say this to everything we always watch, I'd rather you go watch his video than watch mine. Get ready. Let's go.
Dune is a movie with giant sandworms, mysterious witches, and Timothy Chalamet tripping balls in the desert. There's almost none of it is explained. Even Dune's characters have to watch YouTube videos to understand the story. So what's going on in Dune? The movie is based on a book that was written by Frank Herbert in the 60s. There have been many attempts to adapt this book to movies and TV, and most of them aren't very good. It has been called filmable because the book is so weird and complicated. The writing is full of internal monologue and thoughts instead of action and dialogue. The plot is layered with heaps of secret plans and hidden motivations. Its world-building richly detailed, with hundreds of words for its languages, cultures, and religions. Dune explores big ideas about consciousness, politics, and philosophy, and the Dune sequel books get increasingly strange and cerebral. The new movie is a pretty close adaptation of the first half of the first book, but it still leaves out a lot of important plot lines and details. So how does the book compare to the movie? What's the real story of Dune? This video has spoilers for the 2021 Dune movie and for the first half of the first book. It has no big spoilers for the next Dune movie or for the sequel books, but it does some small lore details and quotes from the sequel books. So Dune is set thousands of years in the future. Humans live on many planets across the universe, and they're ruled by the Emperor, Shaddam IV. We see the Emperor's herald in the movie, but we don't see Shaddam himself yet. Beneath them are the great houses, like House Atreides and House Harkonnen, powerful political dynasties who rule planets with armies and wealth. The houses meet in a congress called the Landsrat, which balances against the power of the Emperor. The other big political power is the Spacing Guild, because the Guild controls all in-flight. Guild navigators use a drug called spice that lets them see into the future, which is the only way to guide spaceships safely across the stars. In the movie, these big guild spaceships called Hayliners look like tunnels that you can pass through to instantly reach a distant planet. You can see another world through this ship. It's like a
Oh,
wormhole. The later Dune books describe this as folding space. The Guild is secretive and mysterious. It's hinted that Guild navigators have mutated and don't look human anymore. So everyone hates the Guild for being creepy.
I can't believe no one explained that to me because I was so confused during watching it.
The Great Convention, which has rules banning the use of nuclear weapons.
Yep.
But a cheeky bit of assassination and warfare is allowed within limits. Politics in Dune is a deadly game. Every noble family watches their back for assassins and tests their food for poison. The houses rule their planets under a strict feudal class system. Slavery, oppression, and exploitation are common. This is an unfair, unequal universe. The houses have shares in the Chome Company, which controls trade in the universe. It's like the Dutch East India Company, or Amazon in space. Chome means money, and all the houses fight for a slice. In this struggle, a tiny shift in interest rates can change the ownership of an entire planet.
Wow.
Science and technology is limited in Dune. No computers or robots or AI. Because thousands of years in the past, people did rely on thinking machines. But then some people used those machines to take over the world and enslave people, and it sucked. So then there was a religious crusade called the Butlerian Jihad that destroyed all the computers and banned them forever. In the Orange Catholic Bible it is written, "Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a man's mind." The idea is that thinking and making our own decisions is what makes us human. Letting machines think for us makes us less free and less conscious, so that's why the machines were destroyed. Ever since, humans have had to learn to think for themselves. They founded schools to train the human mind and body to its full potential. So now there are people called mentats, human computers who can think super logically. They process data, calculate probabilities, and perceive people's motives. The mentat Thufir Hawat works as a strategic advisor to House Atreides. In the books, mentats take a drug called Sappho to make themselves smarter, and the drug stains their lips red. In the new movie, mentats just have tattoos on their lips instead. Like the mentats, the navigators of the Spacing Guild have trained their brains to calculate.
There's another thing I want to ask. Do you think I'm as far as I'm understanding it, a Dune is like akin to Warhammer 40K, is like super hard, realistic. They didn't capture the craziness of Dune as well as they could have. You understand what I'm saying? Like the blue lips, the attire kind of being like out of this world type of thing. Is that something that you guys agree with? Or do you think they did a good enough job? Or do you think they toned it down for audiences so an audience could like absorb it better and it not be so alien to them?
The mathematics of spaceflight. And the other important school is the Bene Gesserit, an ancient mystical order of women with highly trained minds and bodies. Their practice is influenced by Zen Buddhism, with meditation and contemplation to achieve inner balance. The Bene Gesserit also have their own plans. For centuries, these witches have manipulated the universe from the shadows.
I'm just going to say, I love how Alt Shift does his videos. He has these individual slides where he's explaining stuff, and then he zooms everything out to show you everything we've talked about. It is so good. And by the way, if I didn't already say this, and if you haven't already done so, go like his video. All credit goes to him. Like in the description, I'm just reacting to stuff for the first time. Go subscribe to him, like his video. And I say this to everything we always watch, I'd rather you go watch his video than watch mine. So the least you can do, if you want to see my reaction, go like, subscribe to him, make sure he gets all the credit. All right. I wish there was a way for me to watch something, and if I was watching something, it also gave him a view, and then you could individually like his video off mine, so it would create like a chain of content where I'm helping him and he's helping me because he's giving me a way to experience this as well while reacting to it.
Because it's for oil in the Middle.
Yeah, I've made this comparison while reading the books. It literally like early 1900s like colonialization of like Middle Eastern places by what originally was like the British and then later the United States and others too. Colonialization like the British did, but like still almost the same thing. I that one part, second part, I'm actually really obsessed with like narratives and stories that include like genetic manipulation of I'm a fantasy writer. I've been writing my books for like a long time, like 15 years now. A part of the thing in my books is this race of creatures, basically bioengineers every creature they meet into something else. They are like disgusted by nature almost. They hate their mortality. They hate their bodies, how they are. So they form everything. They bioengineer themselves, others into what they believe are a better type of thing. They do that over. And it's like a main part of the whole story. The fact that might be his wife. There's another video Alt Shift has done, which is called, I think it's called All Possible Futures, something along those lines. And if you want to forever be scarred or learn the true meaning of evil for the first time in your life, go watch that. Because I didn't know I could be so disturbed by something in my life. And I've lived on this planet and I know the capability of humans. I did not think a human could think up what I saw in that video. So go watch that. It's crazy.
That's just horrifying speculation and is not in the books. Point is, the Harkonnens are dicks and the spice on Arrakis made them rich. But at the start of the story, the Emperor orders the Harkonnens to leave
Horrifying,
and he gives control
indeed,
of the planet to House Atreides, led by Duke Leto. The Atreides have a reputation for honor and integrity. They protect their people and inspire loyalty in return. The Atreides are descended from Atreus and Agamemnon of ancient Greece, and they rule the planet Caladan, a world of oceans and jungles, farming and fishing. The Atreides aren't very rich, but Leto is popular, and he doesn't want the other houses to know that he's attacking the Atreides, so in the book his Sardaukar are disguised in Harkonnen uniforms. He and the Harkonnens want the Atreides to die in the dark. The story begins with Paul Atreides, son of the Leto and Lady Jessica. Paul is just 15 years old in the book, and as the heir to House Atreides, there's a lot of pressure on him. He has no friends his own age because of the dangers of assassination. He's highly trained in politics and in combat, and in the book he's trained as a mentat to have a powerful, logical mind like Thufir. Jessica trains Paul in the way of the Bene Gesserit to focus his mind and
why is he a
body,
mentat?
perception and memory, and to use the power of the voice to control people. It might seem unrealistic to control someone with your voice, but author Frank Herbert said we do it all the time. It's easy to make someone angry with an insult, or...
And that's another thing from the books. It's in the movies, it's more visceral, where she's saying commanding or almost in a way that's not human. In the books, it's more of attraction. She's almost saying it in a way that's irresistible to resist. She's saying it in a nice way. Whereas the movie shows it in it's a physical thing that they cannot deny. It doesn't matter how she says it.
happy with a compliment. And with practice, you can control people in more subtle and powerful ways, like politicians and advertisers do. You've just got to know your audience, use the right words and tone. Highly trained mind. Leto visits the grave of his father, the Old Duke. The Old Duke used to fight bulls for sport as a man until he was killed.
Yeah, which is eventually what he comes around to doing in the end of the second movie here. but I haven't seen contempt for each other. I haven't seen that. So I don't know. I don't know if I completely agree with that.
They are not fucking around. This is a powerful, important person, and she has complicated loyalties to the Emperor and to Jessica and to the Bene Gesserit. Gaius gives Paul a test. Paul puts his hand in a box that causes terrible pain, but if he moves his hand, Gaius will kill him with a needle called the gar. So this is a test of self-control. Someone without self-control, like an animal, will instinctively move away from the pain and will die. To survive, you have to withstand the pain, control your body and mind, master your fear and your instincts. The Bene Gesserit believe that this ability to act consciously and to choose, to think long-term, not just in the moment, is what separates humans from animals. They give this test to everyone they train, so that only responsible, conscious humans gain their power. So anyone who fails this test, they kill. Before the test, we see the Atreides bullhead, because the old Duke with the bull and later with Arrakis, Paul faces deadly danger in this test. When Jessica
Wow.
was trained, she took this test too, so she knows the pain Paul is feeling and is terrified he might die. To calm herself, she recites the litany against fear is the mind killer, but the fear will pass through me and I will remain. Are trained to calm their emotions and focus their mind, and Jessica's training helps Paul pass this test. Paul has self-control. He is human, so he withstands the pain and lives. In the movie, he also has fiery visions of the upcoming Harkonnen attack. Then we learn about the Bene Gesserit's secret plan. For thousands of years, the Bene Gesserit have manipulated the genetic lines of noble families like the Atreides. They breed certain people with other people, often by marriage to Bene Gesserits like Jessica. Even the Emperor has a Bene Gesserit wife, controlling his reproduction. They select and combine certain genes, trying to produce a superhuman called the Kwisatz Haderach. This chosen one will be able to see into the future and the past better than any Bene Gesserit. Because Reverend Mothers like Gaius can only access the memories of their female ancestors. The Kwisatz will access all memories. He'll be a male Reverend Mother whose powerful mind will guide humanity. The name Kwisatz Haderach is borrowed from a real Hebrew term, meaning to shorten the way between two places. So the Bene Gesserit want to create the Chosen One, but Jessica has messed with their plan, because the Bene Gesserit wanted Jessica to have a daughter.
So I get it, but I feel like, and this happens in Game of Thrones too. I don't have not a single drop of attachment for the regular people. I know they're there, right? But we rarely see them suffering. It's hard to connect type of narrative when I don't see the consequence. Like there is definitely consequence, but it's not showing it. And that I think that's part of life too, is it's hard for an individual to see the consequence of action on powerful people reacting. They just see it on themselves in whatever degree it affects them. Later on, we'll get to see how this actually goes to affect individuals. Or maybe I'm just so numb. I need to see it like on a visceral, realistic level. So I totally get like it's about following power that doesn't necessarily suit you and the trappings of like blind faith and blind loyalty over these all powerful lords and gods and stuff like that. I'm totally aware of that concept. I'm a political history major. So my whole identity is around that.
Out the danger of anything that reduces our ability to think for ourselves. One of Paul's teachers is Gurney Halleck. Gurney is a legendary fighter, like one of the best in the universe. He's also a musician and a poet, a minstrel warrior who plays an instrument.
Yeah.
In the book, Gurney often sings and quotes poetry and wise scripture and dirty lyrics. His charming words and music help the Atreides win allies and influence people. Gurney is described as an ugly lump of a man. He's got a big red scar across his face, a burning hatred for the Harkonnens. Because in the book, Gurney was once a slave of the Hutts. The beast Raban killed Gurney's family and gave him his scar, so Gurney wants revenge. Gurney says in the movie that the Harkonnens are so brutal that they're not human. The Huns are often described as animals or beasts ruled by their impulses, which contrasts with the idea of humans with conscious self-control. Paul and Gurney train at fighting using shields, force fields that can stop any fast-moving object, but a slow blade can get through. Guns and explosives are useless against shields, so that's why soldiers in Dune fight with swords and knives instead. The trick to shield fighting is to outsmart, outmaneuver, and distract your opponent so you can kill with a sneaky, slow attack. And even the sword fights are smart and strategic, like a chess game. Paul says that he's not in the mood for fighting, but Gurney says you must always be ready, no matter how you feel. So just like with the Gom Jabbar test, this is about self-control. To survive the deadly blade, you must master your emotions, your body, and mind. One of Paul's other teachers is Duncan Idaho, who is also a legendary fighter. He's a swordmaster of the Ginaz, a military genius. He's super hot, and is fiercely loyal to the Atreides. Duncan is a close friend to Paul, almost like a big brother. In the movie, Paul tells Duncan about the dreams he's been having of the future, of this Fremen girl, Cheney, and of Duncan dying on Arrakis. These prescient visions are part of Paul's power as the potential Kwisatz Haderach. In the movie, Duncan tells Paul not to focus too much on dreams. He says everything important happens when we're awake. Because Dune is about the power of thoughts and visions, but it also warns us not to get too sucked into our own minds, our assumptions and plans. The mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience. The deepest truths and the joy and meaning in life come from living in the present. Before he leaves his homeworld, Paul walks a Caladan beach. Caladan is a planet of water, to contrast the harsh, dry deserts of Arrakis, and is beautiful, plentiful, a paradise. But the book says that the comforts of Caladan made the Atreides go soft. Life was too easy. They got undisciplined. Dune says that people need adversity and hard times in order to grow and achieve our potential, and is the ultimate challenge. It's a test. Now Paul goes into the fire. Will Arrakis forge him stronger, like the Fremen, or will Paul burn? The Atreides arrive on Arrakis, and this guy blasts a bagpipe solo. When the people of Arrakis see Paul and Jessica, they shout Lisan al-Gaib, which means the voice from the outer world. Because there's a prophecy on Arrakis that there will come a leader, the child of a Bene Gesserit, who will lead Arrakis to freedom. Paul and Jessica seem to fit this prophecy. But thing is, this prophecy is a lie. It was made up by the Bene Gesserit have a whole system for this called the Missionaria Protectiva. For thousands of years, they have spread specific religious ideas or infectious superstitions all over the universe. Particular religious signs and sayings are planted in local cultures, so if a Bene Gesserit is ever on one of these planets, they can use those signs and sayings to gain power over people. Dune author Frank Herbert said this was inspired by missionaries in the real world, who use religion to manipulate and exploit other cultures. So the people of Arrakis hope that Paul and Jessica are the chosen ones who will free them. But really, the Lisan al-Gaib prophecy is a cynical tool used by the Bene Gesserit to control people. Yeah. The Atreides move into them in the city of Arrakeen, and Jessica hires a Fremen woman called Mapes to be a housekeeper. Not all the people of Arrakis are Fremen, like the people of the cities and the villages aren't Fremen. Their own specific culture who live out in the desert, sand people who live outside the control of the Imperium. Fremen all have blue eyes because their environment
doesn't make any sense at all.
Leto just does a different water wasting ritual instead. So maybe these gestures are just more propaganda to make the Atreides look good. Dune is critical of politicians who appear liberal and progressive, but are really just aristocrats protecting their own power. Author Frank Herbert said that the Atreides are admirable, but they act with the same arrogance towards common folk as do their enemies. While the Atreides act honest and honorable in public, they do some sneaky bullshit on the down low. Like, the Atreides forge signatures to take property and evict the families of people who worked for the Harkonnens. The Atreides use Thufir, who is a master of assassins, whose ruthless methods bring death and death. His whole plan here is to exploit the Fremen as his army and exploit the land for spice. Leto says that he makes moral compromises for political gain. He says that the honorable Atreides banner could come to mean many evil things. So the Atreides are more moral than the brutal Harkonnens, but their power is still fundamentally based on coercion and force.
He's not wrong, and I agree, but it's, the Harkonnens will literally kill an entire civilization of people if they were given the choice. To the Atreides will use deception to gain the will of the people. There's 1000% a difference there. You can't make false comparisons to, we're going to kill an entire species an entire race of people because we don't like them, to they use deception to gain political favor. It is not the same thing, and you cannot say it is the same thing. So I fundamentally disagree 1000%. By the way, if you like the video, like and subscribe. I'm going to do a part 2 of this. So if you are wanting to see the second part of this come out, make sure you get us to at least 30 likes and I'll put it out. Otherwise, it's going to stay as a members only release for the second part of this. So if you liked it, leave your likes down below. 30 likes and I'll put it out the next week. So thank you for watching Immersive Reactions.
Special thanks to Random, Jeremiah, and Shaquille Relay for being our top members of the month.
Thanks for watching. Check out our breakdown video for more insights. And do not forget to like and subscribe for more reactions.
For full uncut content, join us on Patreon.
We hope to see you in the next one.